Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44. So, far be it from me to hop on here and bash anybody or anything like that. That's not my thing. I hope everybody's okay. You know what I mean? But I come here to talk about something that happened at my job that I left, that I quit. That kind of reminded me, or gave me more so a confirmation that the decision I made to leave there was the right thing to do. And I want to uh, immortalize this moment because I want to remember this for myself. So I'm not here to bash, but I do have to explain. Basically, I did leave my job, of course, and I told you guys about that little situation, and I received not notification on my YouTube of an incident that took place there on the property where a transient had attacked um, a couple. I guess this happened this past Friday before the holiday. And, you know, listen, I am a person who has a unique mind. So I've dealt with a lot of people who have, issues mentally on this property, and in doing so, have had success in calming them down, and getting them off of the property. Sometimes even in certain situations when they're angry, I was able to talk them down. It's a gift that I've been able to have because of some of my unique personality traits. It allows me to kind of relate to these people. Is what I'm trying to say to you. And I felt like I was a real asset on that property because of it. But you know, they're coming out of the pandemic. It was so very difficult for everyone, from top all the way down. Everyone to manage the circumstances that we had there and still follow protocol as it pertains to what you can and cannot do legally in getting people off of the property, in protecting, um, you know, others and things of that nature. Obviously, budgeting wasn't where it needed to be. So, equipment, personnel, uh, all of that had to be managed a certain way. And from where I was sitting, it was a struggle, right? So, I'm trying to be respectful because they gave me an opportunity. That's what I'm trying to do here. That's why I'm speaking this way. But the reality was, we were absent what we needed in those two things, equipment and manpower, um, to effectively protect each and every soul on that property at all times. And, you know, me personally, the person that you're looking at in this camera, I'm not the type of person that really wants to work around people for long periods of time. I'm good in team settings, but I'm a lone wolf by nature. So, in working there, as you guys probably could sense on my videos, I would be by myself. And that property, you needed to be with the other guards 24/7 because we didn't have the equipment and we didn't have the manpower. For the wages that we were making, and for the way that our hands were tied based on the fact that we couldn't do certain things as accordance to the laws and accordance to our contract, the contract we were under, we had to travel in packs in order to effectively protect one another and in order to effectively do the job. Um, but the problem was, we were being undermanned, and it being so much property, it's nearly impossible to do that and kind of take care of the property as a whole. You could There was no way to do the job safe, is what I'm trying to say to you guys. In a roundabout way, it was a very unsafe job. And the property itself made it even more unsafe because maintenance too was undermanned. So it was a sanitary issue in a lot of cases. Without destroying your moment here, it was a lot of stuff that we had to step around and step aside, and it was, a lot of homeless people in Santa Monica. Unfortunately, the transient issue there is the biggest issue. Funding is needed for mental health facilities, for programs for the homeless. It's so horrible over there, so horrible. And what you have is a lot of people who are sick, untreated, and we treat them poorly in the process of all of that, trying to make sure that they stay off of the property, trying to make sure that they're not doing the things that I saw take place in this YouTube video that popped up. One of the transients, I don't remember this dude. I don't think he was one of the ones that I saw regularly. If he was there, he was just a one and done guy for me. I might have seen him once, but I guess he came up there, on his worst behavior, and saw a couple as they were coming out of Structure 8, the same parking structure that I parked in every day, and walked frequently, and basically ran up to them and said some words to them and eventually attacked them in 2 different spots. I guess they were able to get him away from them as they were coming out of the gate. He came back and rendezvoused with them as they were going to make a right on the corner, and I believe that is probably Colorado. They were probably exiting on, I'm not certain. But he got back, he got in their car, and I guess got in and took off. I don't know, he assaulted them and stole their car, but didn't get far, I guess, what I understand. This type of thing that happened there was our responsibility to stop. With no pepper spray, no gun, no right to put our hands on anyone. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? We don't have a right to stop him, but we are responsible for stopping him. This happened at 1:30 in the morning. It's a graveyard, guys. I know exactly who's supposed to be stopping him. I know those guys. You know what I mean? I know exactly who's going to get in trouble, who's probably going to get fired for this. And it's like, they were never given a chance. You know what I mean? Constantly undermanned, constantly asked to do strenuous hours because of the absence of others, including myself. I know I didn't help by quitting the way that I did, but I didn't have anything left for this environment. It wasn't a situation where mentally I could say I got 2 more weeks to do this. Personally, I had to leave right away, and if you follow me, you understand that. But as far as like the reality of the situation was, even if my mind was where it needed to be in regards to staying there, it was such an unsafe environment. Like, not to say that I couldn't handle that to some degree, because you're a guard, unsafe environments is what your responsibility is. But I'm talking about in terms of just being able to accomplish doing your job as a guard. It was unsafe. As long as a guard feels like he's armed with the things that he needs, we don't consider that unsafe. We consider that being in the field. Of course, it's unsafe, but not in the terms of us being at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? There's a difference. It's like, yeah, a firefighter is, of course, he's in a dangerous situation at all times. But if he's equipped with all that he needs to get to that fire, get to the situation, then of course he's going to feel like he's able to do his job. He's not going to consider that unsafe in regards to the way that I'm describing it and speaking to you. So that's how I felt. I was at a disadvantage, and we as a team were at a disadvantage, and this type of thing could happen at any time. Anytime, man. So what I'm hoping to see happen here is that people understand that. I'm hearing a lot of people ask questions like, why aren't there more guards there? Why don't they have more guards in the parking structure? Well, as in regards to this particular property, that's a whole nother story. Go look at ownership, pay attention to who owns what, and you'll have answers to that. But the reality was, we did walk those parking structures. We were tasked with being in those areas, and stopping that was not something that we had a right to do. If we were to put our hands on somebody, we lose our job. If we were to go up to that dude, snatch him out of that car, beat the hell out of him, there's a good chance we could have been reprimanded for that. I don't think people get fired for stopping him from doing that. But if something happens to him, like let's say he dies in that situation, we're liable. It becomes a lawsuit situation. Now they're going to scapegoat us, even though we effectively stopped him. Because in a situation like that, you got to do whatever you can. He's putting everybody's life at risk. You don't have time to do what they want you to do. You got to stop the guy. So you got to put your hands on him. And eventually, that plays out through the legal system. And that's the problem. Our hands are tied in these positions, but we're put in real unsafe situations as guards. And that's why I have made the decision to try to distance myself from the industry entirely. I don't want to do it anymore because it's like I've been in these type of situations so often, where not just with this job but other jobs where I've been tasked with doing certain things that wasn't either trained to do or given the proper equipment to handle. So I just want to get on here and sound off about that. Sound off about that, and also talk about how that was the confirmation I needed to tell me more or less that was the right decision walking away, and I needed that to hear that this morning, to see that this morning. I'm not happy that took place, and I'm sending prayers toward those who were traumatized and affected by that event. But for myself, getting the news was like, I needed it because I'd been struggling with the decision and struggling with the results of the decision as well. But it was the right move, because at the end of the day, you see it. You see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know that our team would be able to keep the account after this occurs, especially since something like this hit the news. I don't know. We were already on edge. My situation, I'm sure, was a strain because I just left overnight, like literally, and I know exactly what was going on during that time. Like I said, that was a selfish decision. I've been beating myself up over how I handled it. But to be honest with you, I was in protest. My whole situation was I felt like I was disrespected repeatedly, scapegoated repeatedly, and again, not given the equipment to do my job responsibly. And things had changed quite a bit that I felt were just very uncomfortable and unnecessary for the type of wages that we were paid and the type of task that we were asked to do. I felt like they should have been much more consistent. If they were going to be lenient, they should have remained lenient. If they were going to be stern, they should have started stern. And that's just a byproduct of the type of job I had. But all in all, it was a lot of stress, and you could see why. And I wasn't right for it. They should have fired me, to be honest with you. I don't think my performance was where it needed to be. I wasn't right for the job, but they needed more bodies. And they had just burnt their bridge with me in the process of that whole situation. But I learned a lot about myself working there. Those are great guys over there, great people. But I just don't think that they have all that they need, even at the top. I guess with the summer opening back up, maybe management and ownership can start getting some revenue, and from there they can start addressing some of these issues. But there are certain things about that property. I'm just going to be honest. Even if everything was straight with security, they're still going to have to shore up some things for that place to be where it needs to be. And that parking structure where they got attacked, that place, they just got to create more barriers, man. That's all I'm saying. Physically, like, you just got to have more. There's too many places with high peaks and low, support. Like, you could tip over. Let's say a drunk person walking on that property, you could find yourself tipping right over that thing on the stairwell leading out to the street areas. I mean, it only comes up to my waist, man. I'm only about 5'10", bro. So it's just certain stuff I told him about, and that everyone has told him about. And I'm sure, our company, the company that I work for, had mentioned it, many times. Things that they need to do to make that job a lot better for everybody and a place a lot safer for everyone. But, ultimately it just has to be addressed. It just has to be addressed, man. So I'm glad I'm up out of there. I'm not going to pretend to play. I'm not going to play around with you guys as it pertains to how I feel about the job. I just don't think that's the place for myself, and made the decision to leave, and it seems as if I did it at the right time, man. Right time. Sorry that happened. So that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to sound off about that, man. I didn't really have anything else to say, man. Sometimes you just need confirmation that your decision was the right one, and I think I received it. Not the type of news I'd want to hear, though, I'll tell you that. Glad everybody walked away with their lives. Everybody's alive. Everybody's okay. I think they got the transient. I don't know, man. We treated those people bad. I will say that, too. That's another reason why I had to leave there. Like, I personally tried my best not to treat people poorly, but by definition, we're asking people to go into cold, leaving warm areas when it's raining, walking away from situations where they're looking for something to eat. They need help. That's it.